Okay, we are at the American Home Services Group and Commercial One Division. I'm with the president and partner, Bruce Weber, and Amanda Hargrave, partner and VP. It's great to have you with us.
Thank you, Dave. I remember back 15 years ago, we had our first conference down at the Ritz-Carlton in Naples, and you and Frank O'Neill, we got on the whole thing together, the three of us, and we appreciated that support back then and having you back with us now. Hard to believe 15 years have gone by.
I need to sit down. And I was here at one time, and you tell me that was about 5 years ago?
I think so, yeah, because we had just moved into this new building, so I believe that was it. Yeah.
Well, we need to do this a little bit more often. First, give our listeners a refresher on this organization, how it started, who the members are, that kind of thing.
Okay. We got started 15 years ago. This is actually my 43rd year in the industry. And just, one life, another life in the industry. And one door closed and another one opened. And we owe a deep, great thanks to the Daltile Corporation, who really gave us our wings back 15 years ago. We've kind of never looked back. And things have continued to grow and expand. Today we have, I think it's 406 members. We're basically in every state, including Alaska and Hawaii. And many of them have multiple showroom locations. So we're actually, it's about 770 showroom locations in the United States. Yeah. So the breakup of the membership, it's in 4 different categories. The traditional flooring store, the salt of the earth of the flooring industry, represents about 60-65% of our members. They have a showroom that's full service installation, primarily refurbishment, remodel, replacement, and a lot of Main Street commercial. The second category is some very large, very sophisticated new home design center flooring operations. The largest privately held company like that in the United States is a member of ours and on our board. And the third category are home centers that compete against Home Depot and Lowe's. We have one out of Kansas City, has 75 locations. Each of their locations is about 150 to 200,000 square feet. They're on our board. And the fourth category are some very specialized commercial flooring operations. And it's because of the growth that we've seen, the economy, it came back very substantial in the last year and a half in commercial, Main Street commercial, all facets of commercial. So in order to recognize the major shift or improvement in that category, we've now adopted and own the words Commercial One. We have Commercial One Division. We announced that at our convention here just a couple weeks ago.
Is there a common thread that runs through your members? You have a diverse group. It sounds like from what you just described.
I was afraid you were going to ask that, but yes. And this hasn't, I don't want to, start a war or anything of this nature, but the Shaw Alliance is the silver thread that runs through our program, and they have a wonderful alliance, wonderful managed alliance. It was just a strategy back in the beginning that we have carried out since day one. That's who we primarily recruit, Shaw line dealers. And it's a beautiful thing. If you're a Shaw line dealer, they have 13, 14, 15 outside suppliers, and we have 22, 24 outside suppliers. So if you're a member of their alliance and a member of American Home Services Group, Commercial One, you've now doubled and tripled the odds that a sale is going to end up on a display in your showroom that's going to pay additional profits in the form of loyalty incentive payments and so forth. And we co-invest.
The products you offer are ones that they don't have.
Absolutely, yeah, there's no crossover at all. So it just makes good sense.
But that doesn't mean that you have to be Shaw line.
Yeah.
Because many stores,
Right.
especially smaller stores, choose not to be Shaw line.
They're independent as well.
They're independent. Or we have Mohawk members as
Mohawk
well.
members
as
Yeah. well.
Because we do have some, you
But
know,
it would be safe
crossover
to
as
say,
well.
though, that it's probably 65%, maybe 70% of our members are Shaw line dealers.
I'm wondering, since the recession and since the long, slow recovery, if there are independent retailers out there that didn't have a propensity to join a group. I'm wondering if they're more inclined to do that on this side of the recession than they were on the other side.
Yeah, I'd say one thing that, right now we have not been in a growth mode for at least the last year or two. Our strategy has been to mean more to our existing members, find out more and more how we can help them, because we grew so fast. And also we've made a lot of changes on the supplier side of it. The alliance never sits still. It always has to be open to new opportunities. But getting back to your question, we work so closely with our suppliers and their representatives. I think we do that more than any other association, alliance, and they tell us that, and they appreciate it, because once we get to know their field representatives and field management teams, not just the corporate management, they come to us and bring potential new members to us that they ask us to contact and recruit. So it doesn't get any better than that.
Very interesting.
Yeah. But we are going to go back into growth mode here sometime in 2015. It's just we've got a lot of things we need to get accomplished since the completion of our convention a couple of weeks ago. That's going to take up a lot of time for the next few months, okay? So we've got enough on our plate.
Now, in your travels and your conversations with your members, what are you hearing? You had mentioned business has been pretty good with your members.
Yeah, I think the smiles on everybody's face, I think they're breathing more easily now. There are still some parts of the United States where it's not as jumping up and down as other parts. The oil-producing states really didn't get anywhere near as hit as badly as the other parts of the United States. But Main Street commercial has been huge for us, and the new home business, has just been on fire this year versus the other 2-3 years. So it's a nice combination of those two parts of the industry getting up off their feet again and going.
Main Street. I find from talking to a lot of retailers don't seem to have that on the top of their priority list, or even maybe on the top 5 items. I'm sure they do an appreciable business. Maybe they're not sure exactly what is
Interesting.
Main Street or not. Talk about the concentration on it, and it seems like it's a stone that every retailer ought to consider overturning.
We really dug into this thing a lot more than I thought we knew. We found out at least 25% of our members today, a minimum of 50, maybe even 60% of their business is commercial. It's really, whereas a few years ago, that was probably closer to maybe 25 or 30%. I think what has happened is that when the economy went so south, that these flooring members had to find new skills. Okay, I really believe that. Yeah, and now that they've learned it, I don't think they want to give it up. They're back to their retail business, but they've opened up maybe more specialized commercial libraries within their flooring operations. So that's pretty much the dynamic. We went into the convention. There were 3 major dynamics that we wanted to talk about. One was the PET, no question about it, and what's ahead for the year 2015 in that. Second is this luxurious vinyl category. It's just a category strictly on its own now. And thirdly was the continued growth in the commercial modular tile business. Okay, so we spent a lot of our meeting agenda on those 3 dynamics. At the convention, we introduced 14 new supporting suppliers. As I said, the alliance never stays still. Tremendous new partners that address each one of those dynamics.
Interesting. Well, let me ask you about that. And you had sent me a video
Yeah.
that you had done. Tell us about that. It was quite clever.
Well, why God made Flooring Dealer, it came from an idea that we had seen at the Super Bowl last year. They ran a Dodge truck commercial, well, Chevy, I don't know what it was, but why God made farmers, okay? And, this was very interesting. It was Paul Harvey, the late Paul Harvey did it, and he said, this could be really fun, pull something together like that. I think the end result, and I hope everybody in the U.S. flooring industry, suppliers, flooring dealers, everybody will have the opportunity to see that and use it. We don't want to sit on it. We think it can be used in general sales meetings when a flooring operation gets all of their employees together, new employees especially, suppliers, training classes, things like that. I think it just, it's an unbiased, very heartfelt, thought out production of the typical flooring person who's, been behind this industry for decades and decades. I think this video will stand on its own for about the next 20 decades.
We did send out requests to our members, for what they thought they would like to see in it or hear in it. And so a lot of those things that we put in it were directly from our members.
Oh, it was great, and it was done very well.
Pictures as well were from them.
Thank you.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Well, I hope we can expose that to a lot more
Yeah.
people because it was cleverly done.
Well, it was kind of neat too because Amanda's background, she grew up on a farm in northern Indiana, and we first played at the convention as she was introduced, Paul Harvey's version of Why God Made a Farmer.
I could identify with that
Okay,
one.
see, so then we're going into my side of it, and we played the Why God Made a Flooring Dealer. And so, it was a lot of fun getting it kicked off like that. They just, first day, I think everybody was kind of stunned to think that we took the time to produce something like that.
Mhm.
Well, the second day, for the first time ever, Scott Humphreys at the World Floor Covering Association called up one day and said, Bruce, can we were sort of acquainted from his Shaw days, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And could we have an opportunity to address your group this year? And I said, absolutely. I mean, we're not in any competition with one another.
Mm-hmm.
So what we did on the second day, right before Tom Jennings came on, okay, to speak to the group, we ran it a second time, the video. And it was like, it couldn't be better entry also for Tom Jennings, talking about the
Did a great job.
Yes. Well, Tom is quite a talented guy.
he was a former retailer himself, and I think was in Kansas. I'm
Yeah,
not sure
Lawrence,
if it was
Kansas.
Lawrence,
Mhm.
that's right. And so, the people knew he was speaking from
Experience.
Experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's been there.
Well, he also, I don't know if you've seen the series that he does, Selling More Than the Floor. Done that for
Yes.
quite a number of years, and
He had a field day on the last day when we had the one-on-one sessions with suppliers and members. He did very well.
Yeah.
Sign-ups for
Everybody loved
joining
who
us.
was there.
well, I've walked around surfaces with him, and you would think he was a rock star after doing this. I think there's 7 years worth of
Yeah.
Selling More Than the Floor segments out
Mhm.
there.
Well, I'm glad we were able to do that. One of their former presidents is a board member of ours, Riley Gazaway, here at
Oh,
the
really?
Atlanta Design Center. And Riley was very pleased that he kind of helped us put that together to have.
I saw Riley in the video, wasn't he, in one
Yes.
of the photos?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.